dancing. Hi, and welcome to Coffee with Connie. Today, my guest star is the one, the only, the fabulous, the amazing Anita with Queen Mama's Hillbilly House with Anita. And as you can see, we have a very, very special guest star today, Little Biscuit. I'm sorry, Little Biskie.
Go say hi.
He's a sweet little baby goat.
He's liable to start talking soon. He's been very vocal this morning.
So, how are y'all doing?
Hey, Tank and Sindy. Sorry.
How are you doing, Anita?
I'm good. I got my little companion here keeping me busy this morning. So
He's too precious. All right, we have
cold
Sindy.
here.
We have Sindy and Tank here, and Julia, and Charity, Debbie, and Alice. How are all of y'all doing today? And what are y'all working on?
Hey, you all.
And today our main topic is going to be stitch markers. Um, Actually, Lulu, I think that was a different Connie you're referring to because I wasn't at Froggy's live today, and after I saw your comment, I went to check to see if somehow I was mentioned. But for what I saw, it was a different Connie that won her giveaway. Let's see. We also have Laura, Wicked Granny, Lisa that joined us. And how are y'all doing? And what are y'all working on? We have a unicorn raid. Thank y'all that's coming over. And we also have, for some reason, I always have trouble remembering your name. Coffee Angel Crafts. I think your name starts with an L. Let me know what your name is. I'm sorry. And we also have Angela and Chris. How are y'all and what are y'all working on? Angela's drinking water and working on her scrappy blanket. I think Charity's in love with your goat, Anita.
Oh, he's a doll baby. It's Little Biskie.
Yeah, Tank, that was what I heard. So unless I was mentioned somewhere else on her live, um, it was the wrong Connie. Julia says I have a slight headache, but I'm working on Granny Square blanket. Awesome. Okay, yeah, Lynette. I was right. It did start with an L. But sometimes it's hard to remember everyone's names.
It is. I wrote that down so I can try to remember it.
But I feel bad because it seems like names that I have trouble remembering that like they'll be at my live and I'll ask them their name and then they come again and I'm like, okay, I don't remember their name again.
Yeah. Same with me.
It's like some names it clicks better in my mind than others. I don't know why. Or you get some people that you want to confuse their names.
Yeah.
Because I know like some people will call me Sindy.
Yeah.
You know, and it's funny how many times that has happened. I
It's
guess
always.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. It's always easier to remember the more common names too.
And I think too, like, me and Sindy kind of, around each other a good bit. So
Yeah.
I think that's part of where people get confused on it. Let's see, we have Brenda that joined us. Hi, Brenda. How are you? Alice just finished the bunny. Now she's working on a turtle. She's into amigurumi lately. Amigurumi is addicting.
Yep.
That's what happened to me. I never really had interest in doing amigurumi. And then I started getting attracted to the gnomes. So I started, I made one, then I was hooked.
And it's not as hard as a lot of people thinks it is.
It really isn't.
Sorry
And
about
I
that.
mean, and you're typically going to have imperfections, but most
Yeah.
of the time you can either disguise them or they're really not that noticeable. So it
Yeah.
really has to be like analyzing your work to notice. Um, Charity says, I got my temperature blanket caught up and now working on my calendar square for February. Ooh, awesome. Um, Lisa's just about done with sweater. Aw. And she says Little Biscie is cute.
Thank you.
And can y'all guess where Little Biscie got its name from? The biscuit? I told Anita she should call it Little Biscie, and she actually listened to me.
It was so cute. And I loved Frank's answer to what he thought about having a goat named after him.
Let's see, we have Nancy and Dawn that joined us. How are y'all? And what are y'all working on? Charity's getting over a head cold. I hope you feel better soon, Charity. Yeah, head colds are no fun. We also have Pamela here. Howdy, howdy. And what are you working on?
There's my sissy.
She's dealing with litter boxes. Fun, fun, fun. And we also have Jennifer here. How are you? And what are you working on? Excuse me just a second.
Hey, Dixie. Dixie's my sis, you all. Welcome. And this is Connie, of course, Dixie, my friend. You'll have to watch some of her videos, especially her shorts. They're awesome.
Sorry about that, y'all. Yeah, sometimes coughs get me, but normally it happens more at the end of a live. Oh, I love his little squeak. He kind of sounds like a cat. Watch this. Look, Allie.
Oh, looky. Look. You gonna notice? Huh? Look. Oh. Meow,
You want to talk
meow,
to me?
Ellie.
Go meow meow. But yet she was all vocal earlier today. Let's see, where was I? We have Jennifer that joined us and Dixie. How are y'all doing? And what are y'all working on? Brenda's working on her cow amigurumi and a V-stitch blanket, almost done with blanket. Have four more color changes than border. It's like I just want to take him and cuddle with him.
Now,
Um,
Dixie can crochet, but she mostly does paintings.
so, Julia, you're referring to the shawl I just started, the knit one? Let's see. Yeah, Tank guessed it. That little biscuit's named after my husband, Frank, aka the biscuit. Yeah, the imperfections in amigurumis make them special. Yeah.
One of a kind.
Um, Dawn is working on amigurumi spiders for Valentine's Day. Oh, and that reminds me, I need to do something for a live to do with Valentine's Day. Hmm. I may do it Monday instead of yarn fibers. That way, give enough time for people to be able to make some of the patterns that I share if they want to
Yeah.
before Valentine's Day. I don't know yet. I may do Valentine's and I may do the yarn fibers.
I think Biscuit's getting sleepy.
Aw. But if I do Valentine's Day, then the following Monday I'll resume with Yarn Fiber. Let's see. We have Angela's here. Howdy, howdy. Yeah, everybody, let us know what y'all are working on and how y'all doing.
Bye, Tank.
Yeah. Oh, Tank has to go?
Yep, she said she may be back, though.
Okay. I hope you have a good day, Tank. Yeah, okay, Julia was referring to that one. I love how it's coming out so far. And I should be showing it to you tomorrow. Um, I know I'm behind on my videos. I don't know, the last couple of weeks I just have gotten behind. Um, but if I do the video, I'll be sharing the new shawl I started, and the Pretty as a Peacock shawl is now finished. I still need to block it though, but it's off the needles. Oh, you gonna eat a cracker?
The time had got away from me. I didn't know he was almost 4 weeks old till I noticed he was eating food with his mama. And then I got into my notes where I wrote his birth date down, and he's almost 4 weeks old.
I'm shocked your other goat hasn't had her babies.
Yeah, I know. It looks like she's going to have half a dozen.
10 baby goats. I wonder, like, how many goats that a goat can have.
I don't know. The most I've ever heard of is 3. He's wanting down.
Bye, little Biscie.
Say bye.
Come back and join us later if you can. Let's see. Angela is still working on her scarf. Charity's enjoying working on Crystal's goat pattern. Already, we have a goat here today. Goat pattern. Brenda finished Crystal's goat pattern a week ago.
Jennifer, she's fast.
I know. I wish I had Brenda's speed.
Me too.
Jennifer sewing up the cable beanie, then finishing off the second one. Awesome. So you want to, Anita, you want to tell everyone more about Little Biscie?
Yeah, he was our surprise baby. We had just acquired his mom a couple of weeks before he was born. The person we got her from said that she could possibly be bred. So I was going out to feed one day, and there he stood.
I would have been so excited. I would have been like, oh, look at the baby.
Well, luckily I had my phone in my pocket when I went to feed. So I done a little short, and it tickled me. About all I could do on the short was laugh.
And he's like one of the most, like, such a precious little goat.
Yep.
It's like you can't help but fall in love with him. Let's see. We have Kaylina that joined us.
Hey, Kaylina.
And she's doing good. Oh, she has therapy all day. Have fun. So what are you working on, Kaylina? And Julia's also still working on Crystal's goat pattern.
Me too.
So, Anita, do you have any whips or finished projects you want to share with everyone?
No finished projects. I have a couple of whips that I've been procrastinating with. One for a long time now. My Abigail cardigan. I've not picked it up in a while because it's the broomstick lace stitch. And while that stitch is easy, it is so time consuming that I have to put it down so I don't get too bored with it.
I think that stitch is beautiful.
It is.
And that's one thing because I know, like with the broomstick, you have a bunch of the stitches you put like on your broomstick or knitting
Yeah.
needle type thing.
Yeah.
And what you're using, what was it again?
Um, ugh. I swear I don't remember. I don't have one handy with the tag still on it. Um, Abigail had sent it to me.
Because I
Um,
was curious how long it was.
yeah.
Um, because like with a shawl type thing, or I would think you would need something pretty long.
Yeah, I'm gonna what I'm doing is, well, I'm designing it myself. I'm not using a pattern. It's going to be like an open cardigan, I guess you would say. Like you wouldn't wear it for warmth. For I don't know what I'm trying to say. You'll just have to wait and see it.
Well, I know like sometimes, you wear something more for the look of it than
Yeah,
like, for the
yeah,
warmth.
yeah. That's it. But other than that, my only other whip with crochet will be Crystal's Goat, which I really need to get busy with because I haven't touched it in a while. Here's my head,
Aw.
and I've started the neck. So, and that's all I've got done so far. Other than that, I've been working a lot with resin lately because I recently started that. So I've been playing with it a lot. And I've got a few things of that handy if you want me to show that.
You can. I see Jennifer's asking a question real quick. What's the goat pattern? It's a pattern that Crystal the Yarny Chicken and Crazy Cat Lady designed. She hasn't released the pattern yet. It's being tested right now. But more than likely, once she once she releases the pattern, she typically does a pattern giveaway. So you may want to look out for that.
And it's an awesome goat.
Okay, so go ahead and show your resin.
Okay. I've recently made my first bracelet, which, of course, on this laptop, you're not going to see the colors good. I've got some little flower petals in
Pretty.
it. And this one, actually, I put the letter beads in for Cora, which you can't. But
Hi,
then
Cora.
she's upstairs.
I figured she
Uh,
was at school.
no, it was flurrying today, so no school. Yay. You can't see that good either, but that's a crochet hook. It also has flower petals in it. And if you can see the number.
Can't really
Mm,
see the number, but you can kind of tell something's there.
and then I've made buttons with resin.
That's
Uh,
cool.
there's some with little blue flowers in it.
Oh, that would be neat. Like patterns you use buttons on.
There's a teardrop necklace with a blue
Pretty.
flower and rings with, that's actually pink. I think it looks clear on here, but it's pink with flowers. Here's one with little cat ears on the ring. I'm going the wrong way. See that? Can you see the ears?
Barely. Now if you put a sheet of paper behind it, if you have one around, that might help make it more visible. Cute.
See the little ears? Yeah, that's what I've mostly been up to, where I'm experimenting with it, and it's new to me. I've been doing more of that than crocheting lately. So,
Hey, it's always fun to get into new things.
yep. Thank
Um,
you, Charity.
yeah, Jennifer, it's a amigurumi goat. Aw.
Did you hear him?
Um, Now, Brenda, if you have a picture of your gut, well, she may want to wait. Never mind. I was gonna say you could share the picture with me, but she may want to wait until everyone finishes testing. Because I know
He's
she tends to show everybody's that tested pictures of it. So it's probably best to wait until then. But if you go check on her channel, I think she has shared her finished one. Do you know, Anita? Did Crystal show her finished goat? I think she did.
uh, I don't know. I
Yeah, I think she has.
don't.
Hi, AJ. How are you today? And what are you working on?
He's going to get very vocal now. Yeah, she did show it in a video. Yeah, I remember now.
I thought she did. Um, but yeah, it's funny. Like Allie was being very, very vocal earlier this today, but it never fails. Like whenever she's live with me, she won't meow, even when I try to get her to.
She's camera shy.
She wants my shoulder.
No.
Um, so do you have anything going on your channel, Anita, that you want to share with everybody?
Um, Not really. I've been procrastinating on that too. I plan to get started back with my live next Wednesday. That will be February.
Okay, sorry about that. My internet dropped connection, so I am back. Let me. Okay, there's Anita. Hey, Anita.
I don't
It
know
was
what happened.
it was my end. My internet dropped,
Oh, okay.
but it was only for like a minute.
No.
well, well, not even a minute. Yeah, because I'm like, oh no, and I was like, I was kind of like, I hope it comes. I can get it back connected. Let's see. Did I?
Oh,
Oh,
JJ's
yeah,
gonna
Dawn
do
said she.
Valentine.
Yeah, Dawn did say that. Crystal did do a video showing hers. I thought she did, but it's like there's so much going on the Yarny community. It's hard to keep up with what's going on and remembering things.
You can't because you want to subscribe to all of them to show your support, and there's no way you can watch all of them.
I know, and even the one like even with those that you interact with a lot,
Yeah.
and it's like, and it's not that you're not trying to support them. It's just not enough time. And like me, I try to talk with pretty much everybody.
Yeah. I try to catch up a little bit because I'll watch a video while I'm doing dishes or something I can do while I'm watching it, but you still can't catch up.
Okay, JJ says she's doing Valentine crochet projects. And Brenda made the boy version of Crystal's Goat. Even JJ said there's not enough time. And that's why, I try to do what I can, you know, when it comes to supporting other channels. But, you know, if you're not watching, it's not because you don't want to.
Yeah.
It's a time issue. Um, we have Kathleen that joined us. Hi, Kathleen. How are you today? And what are you working on? Um, but yeah, like before my internet dropped, Anita was saying how she hadn't been getting around to things on her channel as much. I'm in the same boat.
The
It's like,
weather is so up and down here, it just makes me want to sleep. You'll
that's how
have
I've
it
been.
You have it almost 70 degrees one day, and tomorrow it'll be 30 degrees. And it just,
But that's how I've been. It's like the last couple of weeks I've been feeling tired a lot, napping a lot. And even someone else mentioned that they were experiencing that too.
I'd say a
Um
lot is to do with this up and down weird weather we've all been having.
but yeah, like I said, I haven't done a crochet Tuesday video last week, and I haven't done it this week, and now that we're at the end of the week, I'm thinking I may just wait until Tuesday of next week to do the video.
Yeah,
Tomorrow I want to get my Knitting Friday video done.
yeah, we're waiting to see that shawl.
I still need to block it though. But it is off the knitting needles, so I'll show it like that, and then once I get it blocked, then I'll show it again.
Yeah.
Which hopefully I'll have it blocked for next week's. um. Oh,
He's staying right here.
shy little baby. But yeah, and then I need to film a video for that cross stitch VIP company again. They contacted me a
Ooh.
second time, so that's another video I need to get done. I need to do the finished projects video, but I've also been thinking about maybe just waiting until the 15th of February and just doing it then.
Yeah.
I have thought about that. Yep, that's a baby goat, Kathleen. That's little Biskie. He's adorable.
Well, if
Um,
he don't come back, you can go back and watch the beginning of the video to see him. He's getting into stuff right now.
but yeah, then I think that's everything. I don't know, but like I said, I'm behind on stuff.
I stay behind.
Yeah. Oh, you're welcome, Julia. And that's one thing too, Julia, because I'm pretty sure I have fibromyalgia, and that could be one thing that's making me tired. And then Charity says low vitamin D, and I know a while back my vitamin D level was low.
I'm supposed to take vitamin D, and I never remember it because it's only one that I take once a week. So if I
Now,
don't take it every day, I can't remember it.
at one point, my doctor prescribed me some, and at least we did have some vitamin D. But I'm the same way. I forget to take it. It's like I don't know. For some reason, vitamins. It's like I just don't really think about taking them,
Yeah.
even though it's probably best to do so. Yeah, Kathleen, he is cute, little Biscuit. All right, all right. Brenda sent the pictures. Oh, so let me pull that up.
Come here. You want to say hi? Come on. Come
I'm
on.
just gonna share the first picture instead of trying to get all the pictures pulled up.
Don't eat the cover.
Where? Okay.
Come on. He's gnawing on the cover.
So this is what the goat looks like. Crystal's pattern. This is Brenda Young's one she made.
That looks good.
Very, very nice.
And it's so big.
But some of that too could have been the angle Like if she's more zoomed in taking the picture.
Well, I remember Crystal holding hers, and it looked big. Of course, Lenore the whale was big too.
Yeah, and I know like a lot. I tend to use number 4 weighted yarn on my amigurumi, so I've
Yeah,
had a few that came out really, really big.
yeah.
Hi, love, laugh, live. How are you today? And what are you working on? And what's your first name? Yeah, Brenda is saying it's a good size goat. Everyone's saying that it was cute. All right. So today's topic, we're going to be talking about stitch markers.
Yay.
So that's what we're going to be mostly talking about today. And let me see. Ali's making it difficult for me. Okay. So in case anyone doesn't know what a stitch marker is, it's basically like a small ring. Usually it's made of either plastic or metal. And you can also make your own stitch markers too. Now, some people will take like a string of yarn to use as a stitch marker too, if you don't have stitch markers. Um, Now, does anybody have anything that they use for a stitch marker that's not a typical stitch marker?
I used to use the colored paper clips a lot, and I still do sometimes. If it's something like something in the round I'm doing and it's really small that I have to move it quite often, I'll still use the colored um, paper clips.
Yeah, and also I think you can also use like a regular safety pin.
Yep.
That's
Her
another
name
thing
is
too.
Maggie. That was
Hi,
my
Maggie.
grandmother's name, and it's also my granddaughter's name.
And she's working on a cardigan for her godmother's 100th birthday next week as a gift. Wow, happy
Nice.
birthday to
Yeah.
her. Yeah, that's also when you like when people reach 100.
Yep.
Hold on a second. The biscuit's asking me for something.
I knew this old couple um, went to visit them one time, and the old man, he said, because his wife just turned 100, and he said, I got served breakfast this morning by a beautiful 100-year-old woman. He said, not many
Oh,
can say that.
and poor Betty White, she didn't quite make 100.
Yeah.
Chris has me laughing. He says Fruit Loops for stitch markers. Then you can eat them off later. Oh, Julia's saying some people use bobby pins. I've never heard of that one
I've
being
done that before.
um let it's Lynette, I think. Like I said, I have trouble with her name for some reason.
It is Lynette. I wrote it
Okay.
down a while ago.
Lynette says she uses ribbon as a stitch marker too. Anything handy works. But yeah, it's basically, you use it to mark important things with your patterns to help keep you on track with your work. I'm going to pull up some pictures of some of the common stitch markers that you see, just in case we have someone new to crochet or knitting that's not familiar with what it is. Allie's in my way. Okay, you have the ones that these basically look like a safety pin, but they're plastic, and these are typically my favorites to use because I like the fact that they actually close,
Yeah.
and I don't know, I'm just the most comfortable with this one, this type. Do you ever use this type, Anita?
I have. Yeah, I've got several of them. But generally, I'll just use whatever kind I've got closest to me at the time.
Yeah, sometimes that's the way it goes. And then also this one has a few different types on this picture. Alley cat, you're in my way, baby.
I've never seen any metal ones from
Yeah,
Laura.
like this one,
Okay.
it's
That looks
kind of
like a
shaped like
shower
a
hood, the top
nose,
one.
which I have had some of these. Like I think in a giveaway, someone has sent some of this type. Um, I'm not I'm not as big of a fan of this type. I find it's kind of harder to open and shut. I find the little plastic safety pin type looking ones are easier to shut and open and close.
Yeah. Those top ones look like the metal shower curtain
Yeah.
things.
Or kind of like a nose.
Yeah.
Then you have like basically just the ring and you'll see them and also I'm getting tongue tied. You'll see these in metal or plastic. I've seen those type both ways.
Maggie
But
says she uses that type.
like and then you see the smaller ones. And one thing is like with knitting, especially if you're using a larger needle, you need something that will fit over your needle. So with knitting, you tend to have a larger one to go over the needle. But if you're using a smaller needle, it don't have to be as big. Um, but yeah, these are some of the common ones. Little Biskie. And and then the ones I'm about to pull up, these I'm not really big on. These are kind of like the circle, but they don't quite close. And that's where I don't like them because they can slip off easier. I like knowing my stitch marker's going to stay in place.
I've never seen those.
I had gotten some, I think either was knitting needles that I had gotten, or I think it was knitting needles. But like I said, I'll notice sometimes they'll fall off.
Yeah.
And then you have the homemade stitch markers, which homemade, I love how they're pretty. That factor I love about them. Um, which I do use handmade a good bit too. But I find some of the downfalls with the handmade ones. Sometimes they'll get stuck kind of on your work, like your yarn kind of, it wants to kind of. I can't
Yeah.
really. I know what I'm trying to say, but I'm having
Yeah.
trouble explaining it. Um, and then two, I find sometimes the handmade ones, your pieces will kind of like fall apart in a sense. Where basically, if you just take, your jewelry making stuff, you can fix it.
Yeah.
But sometimes where it connects gets loose,
Yeah.
like unattached.
Yeah.
Um, Actually, Jamie, that's a baby goat called Lil Biscie. He's adorable. He was on at the beginning.
He's down here. I'm gonna see if I can grab him.
Um,
Come here.
okay, let's see. Let me pull up. I'm going to share with y'all some of the stitch markers that Anita made that are handmade. And she has some beautiful ones. Oops.
You gonna talk?
These are some that Anita made. And these are handmade. And basically, with handmade ones, you typically like you find charms, and they normally have like a connecting piece, and then and if they don't, you have these little metal rings that you can buy, like with jewelry making kits and stuff, or jewelry making supplies. Then you kind of have that
Yeah.
straight pin, um, what you call it, metal piece that basically goes vertical, and you
Eye
find
pin.
and you find beads, and you just put them on that little metal piece, and then you put the connector at the top. And I usually, like, me and even Anita has, like, the ones that kind of like at the end of a necklace.
Yeah.
But I also have seen some that kind of more like a clip earring type, where it like you basically pull it apart and then it closes. So
I
you'll
don't
see,
care for those.
I prefer these type,
Yeah.
like the necklace. So
Yeah.
there's some other variations you can use to make the top port, or for the top port, the clasp.
Thank you all.
I'm about to show some more of Anita's. It takes a little while to get the pictures up.
He's laid down in my lap.
Aww. I know, I just want to cuddle him. Isn't he adorable, y'all?
Now those I made the charms with resin.
I love the charms. I think that's gorgeous. It kind of looks like crystals.
Yeah.
All right. And next up,
Thank you, Jamie.
and just so y'all know, Anita is going to be giving away some of her stitch markers at the end of the live.
Yep.
And look at these. And I love these charms because you have the skein of yarn.
My earrings are yarn.
I can't tell what this is. The one before the yarn.
Glasses. A pair of glasses.
And then you have a needle for the charm, scissors, and then a ball of yarn with knitting needles. Yeah, I like the ones that are yarny related charms.
I made my earrings with the yarn ones.
Oops. Let me get to the other picture.
Not yet, JJ. I plan on it. I've been experimenting, getting used to it first, but yeah, I plan to do some videos with it.
And then here's some more with some colorful charms. Now the green one isn't colorful for the charm, but and then like on eBay you can get like the stuff to make stitch markers really cheap, especially if you get it from China.
Yeah.
What? And one thing I am thinking about doing one day. Oh, go ahead.
Charity said she can't wear earrings. Usually I can only wear gold or real stuff, but these were hypoallergenic hooks I got, so I decided to give them a try, and I've been able to wear them.
Yeah, some people have trouble with certain metals.
Yeah. Now that one is Jesus on the cross. I don't think you can tell from the picture, but that's what it is. So no, I use purple beads with it.
But yeah, one thing I am thinking about doing sometime in the future, I may try to do a tutorial showing how to make stitch markers.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
And I am curious. Let's see. I forgot what I wanted to ask. I am curious, what are y'all's favorite type of stitch markers? What's yours, Anita?
Um, it really just depends. The handmade, if I use a big enough clasp. Now, if the clasp is real small, I don't really care for using them. It's got to be, the clasp has to be big enough to hook on the yarn easily.
Yeah, like I said earlier, I tend to favor the little plastic clothespin, not clothespin, safety pin looking ones.
Yeah.
And then my next choice would be the homemade ones. Because I don't know, I think it just kind of makes the whips look fancier.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me see where I left off. Where was I?
He's snoring.
Allie snores.
Oh.
Why aren't you snoring right now, though? She's something else, her.
She needs to get busy to give you some more shorts.
Yeah, I need to try to get her in some more shorts. Let's see. But the sad thing is, I'm behind on my regular videos. Let's see. It looks like JJ. I think JJ uses the safety pin looking ones. Pamela saying those are her favorite for crochet. Julia says she uses them. Um, Maggie, right? I think it's Maggie. I know it starts with an M. Love, laugh,
Yeah.
live. Yeah.
Yeah.
I use some metal ones from Boyle. I can never certain words I just can't get it out right. BOYE. JJ says I use those on my looms too. Yeah, I would use stitch markers when I would loom knit. Um, Jennifer saying how she has both plastic and metal ones. And I think a good bit of people say they like the safety pin ones. Because I don't really know at what point that got into the next one, going back on the chat. So um let's see. Jennifer has both plastic and metal ones. JJ wants some of the light bulb ones. Maggie says I've gotten accustomed to using them. Hi, Jamie. I don't think I told you hello, but howdy, howdy. How are you, and what are you working on? Pamela says when it comes to knitting, the thinner the better between the stitches on my needle. Yeah, that's another thing too to think about. Um, the consistency, for your stitches. JJ says sock knitters use those sometimes. Um, yeah, Angela's saying that the one that I said looked like a nose. It's called light bulb stitch marker, and that makes sense. It does look like a light bulb.
Yeah.
And I think Lynette's saying that the light bulb ones are better for knitting. Jennifer has used a piece of yarn or large metal rings.
Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Lisa. How are you today? What are you working on? Jamie says, I don't like to use those as stitch markers, which I'm not sure which one she's referring to. But I like to secure the ends of my yarn with them. I will show how I use these in a short. Maggie says they are creative yet a bit cumbersome. So I guess she's referring to the handmade ones.
Yeah.
I think Jamie's in love with Little Biskie.
Who couldn't be?
And everyone's complimenting your stitch markers, Anita.
Thank you all.
Yeah, Wicked Granny saying, I think a lot of us just collect the handmade stitch markers because they are so pretty and someone
Yep.
made them for us. Yeah, that's another thing too. Because the ones that other people make for you, they are special.
Yep.
Um, oh, Jamie's doing a sneaky sub giveaway tomorrow, just so y'all know. So be on the lookout for that. JJ wants to know if you demonstrate using resin on your channel, Anita.
No, not yet. Where I've just been experimenting so far, but I plan to. Yeah, after I get just a little bit better with it, got a few kinks to work out. And yeah, then I'll be doing that.
Yeah. And I think I may have mentioned this already. I get sidetracked easily, but I think I'm going to try doing a stitch marker tutorial somewhere down the road.
Yeah, people
Um,
will love that. Hey, Angelise.
let's see. Jennifer says I have a few fancy ones which I've won on lives. Okay. And I think you had read the one about Charity loving your earrings.
Yeah.
Um, Jennifer says I have made a few of my own, which I've gotten on my travels. These have been given away. So, who makes their own stitch markers? Who has made handmade stitch markers? I guess Nita obviously does. I've made them before.
Everything guy. What, did you say his name was Tyler?
Yeah, that should be Tyler.
Hey, Tyler.
I'll know for sure whenever I get to his comment. um, Jennifer says I've made a few of my own, which I've gotten on my travels. These have been given away. Yeah. Wicked Granny likes the plastic safety pin ones. Brenda uses the plastic diaper pin stitch marker. Jamie likes the metal safety pin style and the leatherback style. Pamela likes the plastic safety pin ones for crochet and the thin rings for knitting. Pamela also says, but I do like a fancy pretty one as a progress marker. Lisa says homemade or safety pin. Maggie says they're the ones that look like the shower curtain hooks. Pamela also says it's always encouraging to see that I actually have made progress. Dawn says I used a piece of yarn. Right now I'm making them as I need them. It feels kind of good to have pretty piece of jewelry on my project. Yeah, it's like it's something about it just kind of fancies up your whips.
Yeah.
Wicked Granny says, I just got some of the handmade ones, but haven't used them yet. Okay, and I already greeted Lisa. JJ says I bought pliers to make my own charm ones. I've only made a couple for now. Yeah, like I had gotten like this jewelry making toolkit thing, but basically it looks like basically like pliers.
Yeah. It's the same thing. They're just a little smaller than.
Lisa says I use all the different kinds of stitch markers. Dawn says I remember using a diaper pin as a stitch holder in my knitting when my children were young.
Do they still make those? I've wondered that before because I can't see this generation using cloth diapers.
Every now and then, people do. So I think there were times that like my cousins would use cloth diapers.
Yeah.
Um, Wicked Granny's hoping she gets lucky
Oh,
and wins some. Um, yeah, everything guy. That's Tyler. Howdy, howdy, Tyler. He says we lost power last night, 8 hours. Ooh, until it came back on. And today I just got done snow plowing. We got hit by another snowstorm in New York. You can keep the snow.
yep, I agree.
um, Brenda says I have a lot of handmade stitch markers I don't use. I collect them. Um, Lynette says I have made my own stitch markers with numbers. Yeah, some people will do that too, where they'll do it so kind of to mark like what size hook or needle they use, things like
Yep.
that.
Yeah, because if you put a project up for a while and it's a while before you go back to it, your hook may not be with it and you may not remember what you're using.
And Charity says I made handmade stitch markers. Miss Kitty and I make them for giveaways on my channel.
They make pretty ones.
And yeah, a lot of people make some gorgeous ones. And I love it when you see like kind of like how you do with the resin, where they kind of make their own charms.
Yeah.
Um, Lisa says I want to make some to remember what size hook I'm using. Um, yeah, Wicked Granny says she'd probably use ones to identify the hook more. Oh, and Pamela saying you can use key tags, a circle of cord stock with metal around it to write down the hook size and attach to the projects.
It's a good idea.
Nancy makes hers with hook letters. Yeah, that isn't, I always like with crochet hooks, I always go by the numbers, the millimeters.
I do too.
I don't think about the letter size.
Yeah. Yes, you have, Charity.
Okay. All right. I'm caught up with everyone's comments. So, you comfy, huh? She's not making things easy. Um, so with crochet, the common ways that you use stitch markers is when you're stitch counting with rows of crochet. So you can use it, to count your stitches. Like say you have a lone cast on. Like say you cast it on 300 stitches. So to make your life easier, you could like put a stitch marker for like every 20 or maybe 50 stitches. That way it makes it easier where if for some reason you really need to count, okay, this is, like 50 stitches, this is 50 stitches. So they come in very handy for that. Which I do tend to like sometimes use them for that reason to kind of keep track of where I'm at. Um, Also, you can use them like say you're skipping stitches. You know how sometimes a pattern says, skip one, single crochet the next five or something.
Yeah.
You can put that stitch marker where you're going to be skipping your stitches, where it makes it easier. Where you don't have to keep looking at the project, the pattern as much.
Yeah.
Also, like continuous rounds, and I highly recommend using a stitch marker for that.
Yep.
Like amigurumi, as you basically work in rounds for all the
And
pieces.
something using like the single crochet, which is small, it's hard to see where that is if you don't have it marked.
And I lost my train of thought.
Hey, Sindy.
Hey Sindy, how are you today? And what are you working on? But yeah, oh yeah, I know now what I was gonna say. Like beanies too. Your hats. You want
Yep.
them where that round starts.
Mm-hmm.
Um, or another thing you can do, which I don't know, this one I'm kind of like I'm not so sure about, but it's probably something like maybe a beginner it might be helpful for. Let me
Yep.
know if any of y'all have ever done this. Where you take the top of the stitch after you crochet it, and you put a stitch marker under the top, the top two, the top two pieces of yarn at the top of the stitch.
Yeah.
Um, and then when you get to the next row, then like where you need to put your hook through.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, I'm kind of like, well, if you recognize it after you do the stitch, I would think you should basically know on the next row what's the top of the stitch.
Yeah.
I, I don't I don't know. Oh, Brenda says she does that. Um, Now maybe if it was one that's kind of confusing, like how sometimes you got to go into like the post and stuff like that, maybe I could see doing that.
Or you using a yarn you can't see the stitches in oil or something.
But I don't. Oh, Julia does that too. But I don't know, especially like when you're doing just like basic stitch, your normal stitching.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, now I can see it like with some of the fancier stitching maybe,
Yeah.
but that's not something I really do. um, Another thing too you can do, where you know how sometimes like you work a stitch and it's tight, that stitch, especially like certain type of yarns it might be tighter. Um,
Yeah.
you can like say it's like the first stitch of the row. You could take it where you put a stitch marker in that stitch. Like you knit a couple of stitches, then you put the stitch marker, and then knit a not knit or knit or crochet basically. Um, and you do that, and after a while, then you take that stitch marker out, and it'll open that stitch up better, where you can get your hook through.
Yeah.
Um, sorry. Now, typically, when I have trouble getting through a stitch, I tend to take like my darning needle and kind of like poke it open more. That's what I tend to do.
Or a smaller crochet hook.
Yeah, I've done that too. um, and another aspect too is like you're working on your work and you go to put it down. Well, it's easy for your stitches to unravel on you when you put it down. So a lot of times I'll put a stitch marker through that last loop that's connected to the yarn. That way it won't fall through the stitch and start to unravel. So that's another aspect where they're helpful. Um, and the main aspect where I use stitch markers is like the first and last stitch of a row. Um, because a lot of times, like it can be kind of especially newer crocheters. But I've just kind of gotten in the habit of always doing it. But it really does help keep you on track with the count of your stitches.
Yeah.
Because when you're new, it is easy to skip a stitch, and that kind
Mm-hmm.
of helps keep you on track. And at the end, especially at like the end of the row, it can be confusing sometimes. Okay, where's that last stitch? Which
Especially with beginners, like you said, because usually if you're not using stitch markers when you're beginner, say you were doing a rectangle of something, it's going to wind up like that if you don't.
hmm and it
So,
is, and to me, that was one of the hardest things with crochet. Because my previous attempt with crochet, I couldn't, I didn't understand what they were doing when you hit that end of the row
yeah.
and then start the new row. With the skipping stitches and.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where it really helps. But even still, even though I can tell now the start and the end, I just find it makes life easier.
It does.
It's like it's a clear indicator. Um, and then with amigurumi, you sew a lot of pieces together, and especially like the safety pin type ones, you could use that to kind of connect your pieces.
Yeah.
Be-
Or
be-
like in Crystal's goat pattern I'm working on now, you use them to mark the spots where you're going to place your eyes and different things like that.
and that's the thing. It helps with the positioning or sewing pieces together with
Mm-hmm.
amigurumi.
Yep.
Um, let's see what everyone's saying. Okay, let's see. Julia saying I use them on my amigurumi when I have to increase or decrease. And actually, like I'm about to get into like how they're helpful in knitting. But that is one of the things that it you can use them to mark where it increase or decreases.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, anybody that wants their channel links dropped, type the word drop and Nightbot will automatically drop your channel link for those with channels. Yeah, Maggie says I often need it for the end stitch of the row so I know where to start in the next row. And I think that's like in crochet the most used reason that people use stitch markers.
Yeah.
And I'm a firm believer in stitch markers.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's another thing which I was going to get into with knitting. Because knitting you have the front and a back, the right side and the wrong side. And that's very important in knitting. And some stitches in crochet it is too. Um, well, what I always do is when I'm on the right side of my work, I put a stitch marker so I know what's the front and what's the back. Um, let's see. Sindy says I'm working on my Sanita hat and need to finish that today for sure. Awesome. Uh, Brenda says she does one of the things I mentioned. Yeah, I think it was whenever I was talking about the top of the stitches. Yeah, for some reason that's a glitch with YouTube where YouTube will sometimes unsubscribe you from channels you watch.
Yeah.
So, when that if it's especially a channel that you tend to watch more, that's usually where you're more apt to notice it. If you're not getting notifications and stuff like that, that's sometimes could be a reason why.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, YouTube has so many glitches. um, Lynette says I put a stitch marker in my end stitch when I put it down so it doesn't pull out. Yep.
That's one place I don't use them for that reason. Instead, I'll just make the loop real big.
Sometimes I do that with the loop, but I still see sometimes where it will kind of like pull out a stitch or two um based on how you put it down or something, or like
Yeah,
maybe going to grab it
yeah,
and you know, because I tend to a lot of times put my stuff in you know a little bag type
mhm,
thing, kind of like those whisk bags.
yeah.
um but yeah, but I do find putting it at the end does help. Nothing will come undone. uh Lisa says crocheting in the round. I use markers for increase or decrease. Yeah, Jennifer used them at the start of the round. She also uses them to keep my stitch in place when not using my hook, and I can count my stitches easier. All right. And with knitting, you use them at the beginning of rounds. Typically like when you're making beanies, you'll use it at the beginning of the round. Same same concept as crochet. Um, and also like you'll have pattern repeats in a color chart. So sometimes you can use the stitch markers to mark where like the chart starts and ends. It kind of makes things easier. But I've never done that when I do my color work. Um, I don't know. I've never really struggled with that. But then too, usually when I do my color work, I I have it going around the beanie several times. So there's usually only like a couple of stitches in between. Um, Another thing, and this is where I use them a lot of times. Your pattern repeats when you're doing lace work, um, or anything kind of where there's a repeat. But I typically do it more with lace work because lace work is very easy to lose your place, and then next thing you know, you made a boo boo. Um, and like I was saying earlier, where to increase or decrease in a pattern. Like, say you have a row that says purl 18 stitches, then knit two together, and then purl 6 stitches. You could place a stitch marker on the with the purl 18 section. You could place it on that first purl of the 18 and then the 18th purl stitch. So that way you could just keep going without having to worry about counting. Um, and especially if your rows keep like that, it makes it easier. Now, if you have stuff kind of more like shifting, sometimes it is harder to use the stitch markers. Let's see. Also, like if you're doing something like cables or special stitches, you could use stitch markers to identify where that starts and ends at. Um, and of course, amigurumis again, the start of the rounds. Also, sometimes you want a reference point where you're measuring your work. Like maybe it says, like, you're at a certain section that changes, and it may say, like, do 1 inch in stockinette stitch. So the row before you start doing the stockinette stitch, put a stitch marker, and then it makes it easier to measure for a reference point instead of kind of okay, where did it start, trying to figure it out. But yeah, I recommend you do it before you start the stockinette stitch. That way you don't have to go back and find it. Oh, have a good day, Brenda. Let's see. And again, like say you got like a lone cast on, you might want to put them like every 10 or 20 stitches or so, just to help make it easier to know like if you're on track or your stitch count type thing.
Especially if somebody's talking around you while you're trying to count.
But like some things, like I don't know, with especially with knitting, sometimes you don't really have to count as much. It just kind of depends on what you're doing. Like if I'm doing like all knit stitches, I typically don't count,
Hmm.
except for like the initial cast on.
Yeah.
Um, and also sometimes two patterns will tell you where to place your stitch markers in knitting. Like the one I'm working on right now, it kind of has like three sections to the shawl. Like the first section is stockinette stitch. So when that section ends, they have you put a stitch marker. Then you get into the lace work and cable section. And then when that ends, they have you put a stitch marker, and then you go back to stockinette for the last section. Um, and sometimes I'll see patterns where, because a lot of times like you'll do like your first three stitches like on a shawl and garter stitch, because what happens is with stockinette stitch it curls. So usually you have kind of some type of border. Um so a lot of times they'll tell you like knit three, place a stitch marker, and then you go on, and then usually the center they'll have you like place a stitch marker in the front and in the back of the middle stitch, and then before the last three stitches at the end of the row, you'll see stuff like that. But that's basically how you tend to use stitch markers. um Now I'm curious, does anyone use stitch markers in a different way than what I've mentioned on today's live?
Bye, Lynette.
Yep, I hope you have a good day, Lynette. Have you used stitch markers in a different manner, Anita?
I don't think so. I think you've pretty much covered any way I've used them.
But yeah, if anyone's used them in a different manner, let us know in the chat, or those that watch the replay, let us know in the comments section. Let's see. Let me go back and see what everyone's saying. Got to find where I left off again. Okay, I think I got that. Yeah, I think that's where I left off. Um, JJ says if I do a long chain, I might stitch mark. I do it with blankets. Yeah, yeah, because long chains. And that's one thing. Like with crochet, when you have a really long chain, it's like, ugh. And even knitting, like when you have a long cast on, it's like, oh gee. Because I always find like those first row or two are like the most difficult in both
Yeah.
crochet and knitting. Um, that's why a lot of times, like with knitting, especially with shawls, a lot of times like you'll cast on like maybe three stitches, and it gradually gets longer, so you're not having to deal with a bunch of stitches knitting into for that first row. Um, or even crocheting into.
I, I hate long chains and crochet because I usually have to redo it a dozen times because I lost my count.
Hmm. And that's where it is kind of. Now sometimes I'll tend to like, when I count, I'll put like a stitch marker, like, well, hold on, I might be mistaken. I know I do it like at later on, but I'm trying to remember. Can you do it when you're doing the chain?
I probably
I
should.
don't know. It's like what's bad is sometimes I have to actually be doing something to know how I do it.
Yeah,
I don't know
I'm
if
the
y'all are
same.
like that,
I am.
where it's like it's more like you go by the feel of something.
Yeah.
Because I find like typing's like that. Like if you ask me like how the keys go on a keyboard, I couldn't tell you. It's all about the feel. Um, it's like I know the feel of where my fingers need to go. Let's see. Lisa says she's used the leverback ones. Um, and then she says it's earrings. I'm not sure which one those are. Pants for me, long foundation chains or cast-ons, and inevitably an interruption happens to make me lose count. Yeah, and how many times like Frank will start talking to me,
Yep.
and I'm like, I'm counting. or or another thing like with knitting, like say I have stitches that dropped off my needle, and I'm trying to get them back on my needle before they slip, and he'll keep like talking to me, and I'm just like, leave me alone. I need all my focus and concentration.
I always hear Mom when I'm counting.
Because the least bit of movement can cause that stitch to drop in knitting. Yep, my alley cat wants to be on me. She loves hanging off my shoulder. When she was a little baby, she used to always curl up into my shoulder.
Oh, I think she still looks like a kitten.
She was something else as a little kitten. Yep, she had to be bottle fed. And what was funny was when she was really young, she had a big belly.
She had what?
A big belly.
Oh,
And like at first, I was like, "Oh, I should have called you Piglet," but
oh,
I'm glad I didn't because she don't have a belly no more. She's just a normal sized kitty.
oh.
Oh, you just meowed. You want to say meow 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 meow?
Meow.
Oh, she just did it. Um, yeah, she really don't meow a whole lot, and her meow is not that loud. Oh, she has a low pitched meow. Yeah, Pamela saying memory in the muscles more than the brain. Yeah, because sometimes like someone asks a question, and I'm kind of like, I'm like, I can't think exactly how I do this. It's like I gotta be in the act of doing. Um, Charity says when I am trying to count with crochet, and the family starts talking to me, I just start counting out loud so they will stop talking until I get done counting.
That don't work for me. I've
Yes, I
tried it. They just keep talking anyway.
and Debbie loves fur babies.
Me too.
Yeah, she's probably gonna snuggle with me after the live. Oh, look my baby.
Oh.
Oh, he's so cute. I'm
Well,
gonna be
okay.
disappointed when he grows up.
Huh.
I want him to stay like that. Wicked Granny says her interruptions don't talk, but my cats usually manage to do something. And Charity says my fur baby is sleeping next to me on the couch.
Oh.
Yeah, tomorrow's knitting video. I should have a good bit of cat news, unless I forget everything. Because what's bad is they'll do something, and I'm like, oh, I need to mention this in cat news, and I really need to write stuff down. And then when it comes time to do cat news, I'm like, what did they do that I wanted to mention? Yeah.
I'm bad with writing stuff down to remember it or making a list or something, because then I'll put it up somewhere and not remember where I put it or something.
Yeah, that happens too. Like, have y'all ever gone to the grocery store and you have a list of everything you're planning to buy, and somehow something on your list you forgot to get?
Yep.
And I'll scratch off, like, as I get something, I'll scratch it off my list. But somehow I'll miss usually one thing,
Mm-hmm.
which I don't know why. Oh, all right. So Anita is going to be giving away some stitch markers. And how is it that you wanted to do it again, Anita?
Excuse me. We'll pick 2 winners, and they can pick. Let's let them pick. Each of them pick 4 of the stitch markers.
Okie dokie.
And when I send them, I'll put them on the little leather handmade tag, so they'll have that too.
Let's see. I'm trying to think of what keyword I want to use.
Biskie.
Okay. Hold on. Allie's making it difficult. Biskie. Okay, I'm gonna type it in the chat. And if my name would come up, then I'll just repick. This is how to spell it. Capital B and then ISCIE. Oh yeah, is it US only, Anita?
Yeah, unfortunately, yes.
I almost forgot to ask that.
I didn't think anything of it either.
I'm so glad you asked, Jennifer. Now one thing, okay, what I'm gonna do is, so that way US people can be included in a giveaway. I'm going to give away my some of my patterns after Anita's giveaway. Hold up, y'all. Let's see. I wasn't ready for people to start typing it in. Let me make sure it's picking up the comments. Okay. It's showing D. Ferguson, Dinky Crafts Jennifer, JJ, Lisa, Lulu, Love Laugh Live, Wicked Granny. Oh, hold up. Now it's going too fast.
Hi, Colleen.
Hi, Colleen. How are you? And what are you working on? We're doing a giveaway for Anita's stitch markers. So type the word biskie, like how it's spelled, if you want to be entered. Okay, it's showing 10 people entered. Let's see, 1, 2, 6, 7, 8. It looks like there may be 2 people left off. Let me make sure.
I counted 14.
Because it's showing 11 on my screen. So just to make sure everybody that's entered has been entered.
Hey, Shatika, type in Biscie if you'd like to win some stitch markers.
Yeah, type the word in again to make sure it picks you up, because I have it filtered where you only get one entry. That way, if somebody didn't pick someone up, it should now. Yeah, it probably is.
You're on top, Chad, on there.
Let me change that. And it may have, like when I count it, sometimes, oh, that may be what it is. Okay, I'm good. I'm at 14. Thank you, Lisa. I forgot to click on that button. Okay, yeah, I'm at 14.
Yep. Did you include mods?
Yeah, I just did. That's what it was.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, whenever I had counted my number, sometimes there's a lag with the chat. Or someone could have like typed it like, right as I was saying it type thing.
Shatika, if you want in there, get it in there. If you haven't, I haven't seen you put in yet.
And some people have probably put the word more than once. So if someone repeated saying the keyword, it's only going to pick it up once. But yeah, give it a little longer.
Shatika may not want in it. I haven't seen her comment.
Yeah, this is US only. But yeah, wait for me to say start before entering the keyword on the next one. That way it makes it easier. Let's see. Okay. I guess I'll give it 10 more seconds. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and stop. Okay. Let's see who the first winner is going to be. Good luck, everyone. Oh, hi, Cricket. You misspelled Biscie. So I'm going to give you a minute so you can fix it. So you'll be entered. Colleen, it's okay. She can still enter. It would still pick her up. Okay. It looks like she did enter. Oh, that's weird. It shows her name, but it's misspelled. Okay.
Yeah, she's got an H in there.
Okay, she definitely has it now, so. And the winner is Colleen. Congratulations, Colleen. So what I need you to do, Colleen, is send me an email at justanotherstitch2020@gmail.com. And then I'll forward your information over to Anita. I couldn't think of your name for a second.
If she could do it really quick, if she remembers 4 of them that she liked, if she could say that, go ahead and call them so the next one doesn't pick those.
Or what I could also do too, when you email me, I could reply with the pictures of the stitch markers, and then that way you can find out which ones you want. Um, where you can either let me know. I guess that would probably be the best way. Let me
Yeah.
know, and then I'll forward the information over to Anita.
Yeah, most of them I can duplicate if both winners want the same.
Yeah. So yeah, let's do it that way. Okay, you sent the email. Okay, I'll be getting with you later today. Uh, let's see. All right, I'm gonna go with a different word this time, just to make sure like there's no problems. um, so for the second winner, what word? Sorry, trying to think of a word. Hmm, I always have a hard time thinking of a keyword.
Um,
And then I try to find a word that hasn't been used, you know. So
Pepper.
I would go with Anita, but I know pretty much everyone has, most people have said Anita in the chat.
Pepper.
Um, Pepper. All right. Type the word pepper. Pepper and start now to be entered. Oh, what am I doing? My mind's not working today. Yeah, just like Julia, Wicked Granny, and Lisa. Pepper is a keyword, and this is US only.
He is out.
Let's see, and I think there was a question or something that I saw earlier. Let me skim the chat. But yeah, my lives, like if I say stop and someone like enters, I try to give them a chance to enter the giveaway. Um
I'm not seeing a question.
oh, thank you, Colleen. Yeah, if you want to share me out on Facebook, you can. Yeah, I think that's what I had seen.
Hi,
So,
Jake.
hi Jake, how are you today? And what are you working on? Yeah, pepper's the keyword, and this is US only.
He is out.
Oh, but yeah, but yeah, my brain's not working too good right now.
That's okay. Mine hasn't worked right in years.
Oh, let me take this off real quick. And then one thing to my email address, you can also find it in the description box of this live, and basically all my videos should have it, and my about page.
You know, one thing I keep forgetting to mention to you, you do not have your Amazon wish list where you can click the link.
Oh, am I?
Yep.
Oh, I have to look into that.
Yep. because I was going to check it out one day and couldn't click on it.
I probably copied and pasted something where it didn't show the whole link. I don't know. But I'll have to check it. Okay, so let's count down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and stop. All right. Let's see who the lucky winner is going to be. Good luck, everyone. Okay. Yeah, pick your comment up, Pam. We have Pam with Be Creative here. How are you doing? And what are you working on? All right. So good luck, everybody. And the winner is JJ. Congratulations, JJ. So yeah, send an email to me, and here it is again. Send me an email, which I know she has my email. She sends me pictures and stuff a lot. So, but yeah, send me an email, and I'll respond. Showing the pictures, and then contact me back. Let me know which ones you want, and I'll forward all your info over to Anita. So I am going to do a giveaway for all of my patterns in my Ravelry store. I'm going to have 2 winners. That way, those that live internationally have a chance to win something. So there'll be 2 winners for all my patterns. One thing I do want to mention, because I know not all of y'all are knitters, most of my patterns are knitted. I have 3 that are crochet. So the majority of the patterns are knit. Pam says I'm headed out to lunch from work, so working on filling my belly. Awesome. All right. So let's think of a keyword. Like I said, this is a hard part. What's a good keyword? Let's go with Frank. Frank. So start now, and this is open worldwide. Frank is the keyword. Since Lil Biscie's named after Frank.
I still love the answer he gave when asked him what he thought about having a baby goat named after. Whatever makes Connie smile makes me happy. That was so sweet.
He's something else.
Wicked Granny, if you don't mind, look my email up on my channel and shoot me an email later.
Frank is the word on the street. Let's see. Frank is the word on the street. Instead of grease is the word. You've been something else lately, huh, Allykins?
He's going to be so hyper when he goes back outside.
Oh. Oh, Colleen saying I love my wifey mug on Saturday at Walmart or Friday when I went to the doctor. Okay, we're going to do the countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, to, and stop in the name of Little Biscuit before he breaks your heart. I'm being silly. All right, let's see who's the first winner of my patterns. Good luck, everyone. Oh, congratulations. Pam with Be Creative Crafts is the lucky winner.
Congratulations.
And again, send me an email at justanotherstitch2020@gmail.com to claim your patterns. And with my patterns, I'll be sending it, I think, over 3 emails because of the file sizes of it all together. I can't send them all in one email.
You have some awesome beanies.
Oh, thank you. So I don't think anyone else has joined, so I'm going to go with this, just pick another winner. So let me hit the button. Good luck, everyone. Congratulations. We have Pamela with Green Stick Cottage is the winner this time. Congratulations, Pamela.
Was that 2 Pams?
Well, Be Creative. Well, I'm sure her first name is probably really Pamela, but she goes by Pam. And then Green Stick Cottage goes by Pamela. And she may even go by Pam too. Because I know that's a common nickname for Pamela.
Yep, the Pamelas have it.
So yeah, again, send me an email, justanotherstitch2020@gmail.com. And it can be also found on my About page in the description box of this live and the majority of my videos. There's a few that don't have it because I had too much information in the description box. That's typically when I share on lives where I shared a bunch of patterns before I started using the URL shortener. Yeah, and Wicked Granny is a Pam too.
Awesome. Got 3 in here.
Congratulations, everybody. Lisa saying hi to Frank. I don't know if he's still here or not. Oh, he is. But yeah, like I said, send the emails. I'll either get back to y'all later today or tomorrow. Because I have some stuff to go do. But yeah.
You go. Okay.
Green Stick says, she just uses Pamela now. Yeah, you know what's funny? Whenever I was in junior high, I hung out with three different girls that had the name Jennifer. And I was almost named Jennifer. The only reason that I didn't get the name Jennifer, see, like my mom and dad were thinking about naming me Jennifer after my grandma. Well, her name was Jenny, but for some reason my grandma didn't want me named Jennifer. So they ended up picking Connie.
Oh.
But that would have been something. That would have been 4 Jennifers together.
No.
But like one of them usually, it's like I request Jennifer, the other one Jenny, the other one Jen. That was how I kept them straight.
Like the older movie, what's it called? The Heathers.
I love that movie.
I do too. I just like Christian Slater in anything.
And then there's another one that I had watched on Tubi called The Rachels.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah. But yeah, let's see. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to mention. Like I said, I'm behind on my videos, so please excuse me. I'll get caught up eventually.
Hey, we've got nothing but time.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes it's hard to always keep up every week. Um, so like I say, sometimes my videos are late. I try to get them out. Like my crochet videos, Tuesday's my regular day, and knitting is Friday. But sometimes I'm a couple of days late. And last week I didn't do a crochet or knitting video at all. And this week I hadn't gotten my crochet done. I'll probably do crochet Tuesday next week. Um, because tomorrow's supposed to be knitting Friday, and then I have some other videos I need to get done. I have that cross stitch VIP video that contacted me. Then I still need to do the finished projects video, but a part of me has thought about waiting until February 15th.
Yeah.
Because it's almost February now. Um so because I have a feeling February will be a short video if I do another one. I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm trying to
I'd just
decide,
wait. I'd probably wait if it was me.
but I do need to get the pictures worked on. Um I do need to do that. That way I won't have a bunch to do at once.
Yeah.
I mean, I try, like, typically on my finished project videos or any picture videos, I typically try to put it in alphabetical order by everyone's first names. Um, or sometimes it may be like might be your first name or what you go by on YouTube or your channel name, but there's typically, like, an alphabetical order unless I get pictures last minute, then I throw it in at the end. So, like, if I do it on the 15th of February, the pictures probably won't be in alphabetical order, especially especially ones that I get like after the fact, like later on. Um, but yeah.
Now that you've told that, I'm gonna be paying attention to it. I would never noticed it before.
Yeah, that's funny because sometimes, I think something in my head, and like I presume other people realize it, and then it's like, but I've never actually said it, and I start realizing people don't realize this.
Yep.
Kind of like whenever, like, say one of the pictures, say you see a that you're interested in the pattern. Um, if you want the pattern, all you got to do is like email me and let me know, and I'll contact the person that made that item and see if I can get the pattern. Now
Yeah.
sometimes, like, there may not be an actual pattern, or sometimes it's a paid for pattern, but I could still share like the link to go purchase it. But yeah, anytime. But yeah, I always think that in my head, and I all of a sudden I'm like, people may not realize it because I've never actually, had said it out loud until I think my last finished projects video. But I have had people, like, when they show interest in something, I have in the past. I'll try to get the pattern. Um,
I want to comment on something there. Wicked Granny says, but then I've been asked how to spell Pam. If somebody asked me how to spell Pam, if my name was Pam, I would probably say Nope. That's how you spell it.
yeah, it's funny how people will mess up names. Yep. Hi. But yeah, so yeah, I think that should cover everything. And what's funny is usually afterwards you're like, oh, I should have mentioned this. um,
I think it was a good topic.
yeah. And really, that is something too that I could do as a topic with like other people that make stitch markers.
Mm-hmm.
When people forget my name, they always say, you know, the um you know what's funny? Okay, like some of y'all may maybe may have watched like The Young and the Restless. Well, they had a character on the show that her nickname was always Cricket. Um, but the funny thing is, they had another character named Phyllis, and those two didn't get along with each other. And Phyllis would always call her the bug. And I
Yeah.
never understood why Phyllis used that name. And then also one day it clicked. A cricket's a bug.
You know, I watched that show growing up and watched it till probably 10 or 12 years ago or something. And I don't know for what reason, but anyway, I quit watching it. But I had watched that for years.
And you know what's funny? Because like when she was younger, they always referred to her as Cricket.
Yeah.
But now you don't hear her called Cricket hardly anymore. I'm
What
trying to
was
think
it,
of what her.
Christine?
Yeah, that's it, Christine. And I just think it's funny how like they don't call her it anymore. I guess it's because she grew, she's grown up. She became a lawyer, wanted to be more professional,
Yeah.
sounding. Um, but yeah. Oh, I see Joy joined us. How are you? We're fixing to wrap up, so I hope you catch the replay. But yeah, um, I do want to thank all of y'all for watching today, and I hope y'all enjoyed today's live. Now I do need to start scheduling for next month's lives. So if anyone's interested in going live with me, send me an email. But yeah, and also I want to thank those that are going to be watching the replay. Leave a comment, let me know that you watched. And feel free to share anything to do with today's topic in the comment section. But yeah, so now I'm going to play my little closing video. Where are my videos? Let's see here. Hold up, no. Here it is. So yeah, so me, Alley Cat, Anita, and Little Biscie all hope that y'all have a fabulous Yarny day. Be the light and bye.
Bye. Say bye.